Mr. Dixit, I want to begin with you, and I want to ask you. The Uttar Pradesh government has given multiple laws under which they say that this demolition drive has taken place. There's a Gangster Act, but none of them really come under the purview of the Constitution that allows this kind of a drive to actually take place ad nauseum. You can't be judge, jury and the executioner.
See, as long as the acts which you have quoted, Gangster Act and all those other acts, if they are constitutional, and I believe they are constitutional, there is no judgment from the court that these laws are ultra vires to the Constitution. So the state of UP can take a defense that we are acting within the purview of the law, and this is what I think the UP ADGP has also clarified. But the important question which we need to ask is this: whether the principles of natural justice are being complied in these cases. And these things are very fact related and individual oriented. You cannot say that everyone should be given notice or each locality should be given notice, but if you are demolishing someone's house, obviously there is a requirement to give notice. You cannot suddenly turn and come in one day and say that we will demolish this order and demolish this building or the residential premises. And if I invite your attention to the proceedings in the Jagirpuri violence, the Supreme Court was very clear that we are not going to stay all the demolitions in the country. The state has to satisfy that the demolition was done within the purview of the law. There is no denial of the fact that state has ample power to demolish the illegal buildings and encroachments. And let's be very pragmatic.
Right.
In our country, with the system which we follow, most of the buildings are primarily illegal. If a municipal corporation has some vendetta against you, they may misuse the provisions. So
right.
We need
but
to
Mr. Dixit, the fact that it was misused is a separate thing, because now there are certain buildings in Prayagraj which were demolished, and it's still debatable. But there is a whole perspective being given where Javed Ahmed or one accused house is concerned. It didn't even quite belong to him. Forget about the illegality of it all.
No, that is what, if it belongs to him, then it will be doubly dangerous, because the person is accused and you are demolishing the house. The fact is the house is in the name of the wife. The state can say that because the house was illegal or there was some illegal construction, therefore we are demolishing it. So we need to draw this fine line that in cases where there is an apparent malafide on the part of the state, that just because someone is accused of some particular offense, tomorrow you will go and demolish their house. That should not be done. That should not be the practice of the state. This is literally misusing of the law. But where there is a illegality which has already happened and state is acting on that, the person has to show that the entire act of the state was utterly based on malafide and nothing else. Right. Which becomes a very difficult task in the
Well, in this case, that's why questions are being raised, and I will go across to our other two panelists this evening. Appreciate.
No, may I just, if I may just give example of Jagisi. When a house is demolished, obviously the people will say that there was no notice given and nothing was there. I have not come across a single case where a person will come to the court and say that no, MCD has given me notice or some municipal body has given me notice. This is always a disputed question of fact. But when it becomes the policy of the state that we will demolish the house of a person who is named as an accused, that is what is difficult and should not be done under our scheme of law.
All right. Okay. So, we've got the perspective in terms of law, and Ratan, Sharda, let me begin with you, sir. And the fact is, taking off from even what Mr. Dixit said, just because somebody is an accused gives you no right to, without notice, go and demolish his house, especially where a democracy like India is concerned, under our constitutions, under our purview of laws.
Well, Preeti, somebody has to find out whether there is a connection between the accused and the house demolition. Because house demolitions are as per the illegality notice given to them much earlier. In many debates, there are people who have come and said that this was 7-year-old notice, why it was not done earlier, why it is done now. So, firstly, I would also like to remind you, I am not an RSS ideologue. I have said time and again, I am just an RSS researcher and a writer, so we should avoid the word like ideologue.
So we're going to take it off your...
Secondly, when we talk of constitution, constitution is not one-sided sword. It is double-edged sword. There are people sitting here who very conveniently talk of constitution, but here Mr. Pathan, who other channels has refused to answer whether Sir Tan se juda or whether the MP, nothing but an MP, has gone ahead as a lawmaker to say that Nupur Sharma was to be hanged publicly? What is his answer to that? What is his answer when thousands of people come on road, lakhs of them actually, across India as if predetermined and throw stones, create violence? Have they condemned it? Did he ever condemn that class secular topic, condemn the insult and abuse of Hindu gods and Hindus? No. So now to cry victimhood is perversity of justice, because these people are the ones who actually created the atmosphere where all this hate is created.